Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe and drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, news coming out of Texas for college football. Archie Manning, the grandfather of Arch Manning, the new starting quarterback for the Texas Longhorns, saying that Arch might stay in college for his senior year. Do you think this is something that's possible? Or is the hype of the draft going to be too much for Arch to shy away from?
No, I mean, this is 100%. I don't think that Archie even said that he might stay. I think he kind of put it to bed. He was like, no, he's staying. He's going to be in Texas for the next 2 years. And I 100% believe that he is going to be Texas starting quarterback for the next 2 years. I mean, we see it. I seen someone comment like, what? A Manning seeing their senior year? They all play through their senior year. It's not anything that's different. It's not anything that's new. Realistically, you trust the process when it comes to the Manning family because you understand and you know, okay, they've done it before. They've been there. And so if I'm Arch, like, I have no problem being the starting quarterback of a program like Texas in the NIL era when, yeah, you can make as much money as you want and still be eligible to be a pro and probably end up being in a better situation because you've fine-tuned and been a starter. Just as we talked about with like Anthony Richardson and people being skewed more towards traits, you can build out the body of work as a quarterback. And we're seeing more and more that teams should be leaning towards guys that do have more, shots fired, that do have more in-game scenarios, that aren't sitting ducks when it's like the bright lights are the brightest and you're in this spot. Arch is going to be playing some big-time football that matters over the next 2 years, and you'd be comfortable handing him the keys to pretty much any franchise moving forward.
Yeah, I actually totally agree that he should stay in college, but I think this gives him leverage, and depending on what team has, let's say he balls out, let's say he wins Heisman, whatever. Let's say he is the number one pick that everyone is thinking. Depending on what team is the number one pick, I think should determine his answer for this. Like, say the Vikings somehow flame out and they're the number one pick. If I'm Arch, I'm thinking, well, yeah, I'll go to this team with Kevin O'Connell with these weapons, and I'll go. But if it's I saw a tweet, Saints fan saying, guess what? We're going to be terrible in 2026. We could do this all day. So if it's a team like this, say the Saints or the Browns, I'm definitely going back to college and taking another roll of the dice. But Arch has a chance, I think, in an era where there's no loyalty in college football. You're not really building legacies anymore. He has a chance to be the face of Texas football, to be the guy to become a college football legend. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be in the college football playoff. If he can win a natty, if he can win 2 natties even, he has a chance to be one of the college football legends. And I'm not saying that he's going to be this like Hall of Fame level talent. I'm saying he's in a great program. If he lives up to the hype, he has a chance to be special. And especially, it feels like everything that this family is doing for this kid is to build him up to be the ultimate professional, to be the best NFL quarterback that he could possibly be. So why not let him keep on developing, get another year in, and go in to hit the ground running in the NFL? Because he knows he's going to start day one wherever he goes in the NFL. So he needs to prepare for that now. And so to give another year for that, I think it's invaluable for him.
And you look at it, the guy's only 21 years old.
Yeah,
he's
not
21
even
years old.
26.
He's 21 years old. He's 6'4", 218. Imagine 2 years on this guy just sitting. He is a specimen right now. In 2 years, he is going to be out of this world. Especially, you can't underrate experience. You can't underrate that. And if you look at Texas is going to be now in the SEC, they're going to be in some important games with all eyes on them, where the stadium is packed and it's big time stakes at hand. And you cannot replicate that moving forward. You can't go from having these big time games or never having these big time games and then stepping into the NFL and being the guy, the head honcho, and being in a primetime game or a playoff game. All of these things build out and it makes him a more well-rounded guy. And I think that these games that are going to be big time, if he was in like the MAC, if he was in like the American, it's like, yeah, just go ahead and declare for the draft. You know what I mean? but he's in the SEC and he's at a program where they are the preseason number one. They're going to every week is going to be the defense's best shot. They're going to be like, all right, we are going to give it our all to try to stop this guy, and it's only going to make him better. Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, and I think he has an opportunity this year to learn and maybe even kind of temper some of the hype. Like I say he goes out there, he has, not underwhelming, but an above average run of the mill season. Like he has the season that Nico Ayamalava just put up, and they make the playoffs and they lose. I think he has the opportunity to be like, hey guys, pump the brakes a little. Let's not put me up on this pedestal that I'll never be able to reach. I'm going to come back to school, another year under my belt, now a full season as a starter, and be able to show you guys, oh, my level of play has grown. I'm actually a really good quarterback and I deserve the draft hype. Instead of having a couple flashes here and there, obviously he's going to have some games where he struggles because it's his first year as a full starter, and going into the draft with question marks and people, either you're on one side of the aisle where you're hyping up to oblivion, or you're on the other side where you're trying to bring him down because you're thinking, oh, it's just his name. It's literally just his name. So I could see Arch, especially being a guy that said he hasn't earned the publicity, he hasn't earned the hype yet, coming back to school and saying, okay, I'm going to show you guys that I actually am a great quarterback, even though you guys are like trying to put me in that box already.
Yeah, I think I could also, like, to play devil's advocate. It's like, okay, well, why wouldn't you just go to the end? If you have a great season at Texas, you win. Let's say this is the perfect season. It's a Joe Burrow season. We go undefeated. We go out there and we win a national championship. You win a Heisman. Why wouldn't you strike when the iron's hot and go out there and be the number one pick and get 1 year closer to your second contract where quarterbacks really get paid in the NFL? Why wouldn't you do that? Do you know what I mean?
I think the only thing that you could sell is the teams are not going to set you up for a great career that are in the number one pick. This is something that's not really big anymore that I think was bigger in the like 2000s before NIL. College glory. We won a natty. Guess what? Let's be one of the schools that won 2 natties. If he wins a Heisman this year, you could go down in history as a guy that won 2 Heismans. And that is crazy. That is legendary status. And I think someone who's a Manning with a legendary name could potentially want to, etch his name in college football history like that. So it really depends on other factors. I think if it's a terrible team, we already saw Eli Manning do this where he doesn't want to go to a team that he's drafted by. I think the Manning family would say, you know what? Let's go back to college. Let's see who is in the draft next year, and we'll go from there.
I can see that. Yeah, I think, again, too, they're not going to microwave this. They are going to give Arch the best foot forward. And I think that if it does come to that and he has the perfect, as I said before, the miracle run season and all these things happen, I think that that's the only way that they would reevaluate this. But if Archie's coming out here and saying, hey, I don't know why everyone's saying that he's going to the draft. He's not. He's going to stay 2 years at Texas. I think it's pretty strong that he's going to stay 2 years at Texas.
Yeah. Well, you guys let us know in the comments what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.